Choices, Possibilities, and the Multiverse, an Opinion by Mister.Weirds. Most people at least know of the multiverse theory, but most really don't give it much thought. And when they do, they sum up as multiverse theory is a theory that states that there are multiple universes of infinite sort, and that for all of our choices, there is one universe where we made a different choice. Whenever I made that choice, there was a universe where I made a different one. At least that's how it is described to me by most who have heard of it. And they give an example of when they had to choose between a hot dog or pizza. This is valid, but I postulate, though, however, that there's more to it than that. For what is a choice? And to that I say a possibility, or a possible path that can be taken, and multiple choices being many variations of possibilities. I say this because who is to say the multiverse is defined merely by such simple choices, such as what shirt am I wearing today, or what to eat for breakfast? The Tsarina of Russia had choice between siding with Rasputin or denouncing him, so who's to say that there is not the whole universe where she did denounce him and rid herself of the rumors? But here you say, what would that accomplish? And to that I say, much. For as we make our choices make us. And this is due to how our choices lead to action. And as the butterfly effect states, the simple action of a butterfly flapping its wings can lead to a tornado occurring somewhere else. Well, everything we do is a choice, and that choice and actions taken according to that choice can ripple across reality in countless ways. Who is to say alt history is merely speculative? Maybe there's another reality where she did make that choice. But how can that be? And that I point to Rene Descartes and his famous phrase, I think, therefore I am. This was thought of by him when he was pondering on the nature of reality, where he concluded that reality is an illusion projected onto him by a powerful demiurge. Now, I don't believe reality is not within our control, but with examples of things such as observer effect, which states that the behavior of certain subatomic and or quantum particles change their behavior and nature depending on whether they are observed. A notable example of that being light, which can act as both a particle and a wavelength. This points to the fact that our reality is not fully understood, and that maybe our perception can affect it, giving more meaning to Descartes' words than even he could have believed would be true. There's more to our reality than meets the eye, my friend, and this is a prime example of this. So who is to say there's a world, or at least there's not a world, where fantastical things exist? Another world where variables line up in just the right way, this world could have anything. And I mean anything. It could be a world allowing us access to magic and amazing abilities, or advanced technology, and these things being pulled from our media. Well, who is to say stories like Harry Potter and Star Wars, therefore, are not possibilities? For I say that our stories are just as valid thoughts as our choices. And since we think, therefore we are, who is to say that our thoughts cannot become reality? For as Einstein says, our knowledge is limited, but our imagination encircles the world. And that's because, as I like to say, our imagination might just be infinite. So maybe when you're wondering about the possibility of other worlds, maybe there might be none in our reality. But another, then who knows, all sorts of possibilities exist just around the bend. Anyways, good night. The man then stood up, leaving me quite befuddled as I had my sandwich mid-bite. And I was barely able to say a word other than, who the heck starts a conversation like that? We both just sat down. It was then I noticed a swish of what appeared to be a tail before it shimmered and faded away in plain view.